And welcome once again to an anniversary edition. This is our 10-year anniversary at Women's Speakers Association of WSA TV's premier women's show. And as you can see, we're going to be talking about collaboration because collaboration has been a pillar for Women's Speakers Association from the initial visioning. And if you had a chance to see Liora or Gail and Gail chat about that, our founders, in January, it's on our site at WSA TV, you'll know that it was challenging to embody this concept of collaboration. But over the 10 years, it's become essential. And it's what makes Women's Speakers Association really stand out and such a tight community. So today, I have some original members here to explore the power of collaboration as a pillar for leadership and why it matters so much for women today. So without further ado, let's say hi. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Mannion, the business marketing architect and owner of Right On Creative. You can find me at rightoncreative.com. And I have been a member of WSA for well over a decade, long before it was born. I got a little whisper from Liora, one of the co-founders, about the concept and said, yes, please do this.
Yeah, we really were craving that. And hi, Tracy. Oh, unmute.
Hello, my name is Tracy Rapchuck. I'm the CEO, author, speaker, and online income innovator at tracyrapchuck.com. And I have been a WSA member for 10 years since it was born. And I'm proud to have been around as long as I have with this amazing community.
And we're proud to have you here with us through the 10 years. And hi, Dr. Desi.
Hey, Laura. And I have to say, I'm Desiree Aragon, and I'm really glad to be here today. I'm talent and spiritual strategist, and I wasn't here before it was born, but I also knew one of the founding members, Gail, and I got the first email that went out that said, hey, are you interested? And I jumped on it from the get-go because it sounded like such a great idea. So happy to say it's been an awesome decade.
Yeah, so let's talk about it because you have all been here for a decade or more. And as you know, we're celebrating that 10th anniversary. It's amazing. And there was a whisper, like you said, a tickle, something that prompted you. And I'm guessing it might have had an inkling to do with collaboration, but let's talk about collaboration. What can the collaborative model that Women's Speakers Association offers really do for women? Lisa?
Well, first of all, collaboration over competition is the new way of being. And WSA had that vision long ago, and it's something as women we've all been craving. So just that alone is valuable. But as it's evolved over the years, more collaborative opportunities have come to fruition beyond just speaking. For example, the publishing arm. There's a WSA publishing arm. In fact, The Silver Lining of Cancer was published through WSA with many of our fellow cancer thriving WSA sisters, including myself. So the sky's the limit. It's all about lifting one another up and getting that message out there in a really big way.
It is. And I'm glad you brought up publishing because this week marks the 4th Voices of the 21st Century launch as a best-selling book. And I know, Lisa, you've been in it, and Desi, you've been in it, and Tracy, are you about to be in it? So anyway, I want to hear from you, Tracy, about, what has this collaborative model, what does it do for women?
It was a necessity that this was birthed, and thankfully Gail did that. I came from the internet marketing arena where it was 15 men and myself, one woman on a stage. And I craved that collaboration among women. And what I love about the WSA is, we get booked for speaking gigs around the world, whether that's virtually or live. And on a weekly basis, people come here and they select from our amazing kind of speakers who have been vetted. I remember that personal phone call with Gail on whether we're applicable for the community and things of that nature. And it has carried that tradition with it of collaboration and of the high caliber that we have here.
Beautiful. Yes. And, it permeates everything. You are on the same field level with your fellow sisters here at Women's Speakers Association. And Dr. Desi, tell us about what does collaboration offer women especially with Women Speakers Association?
Yeah, I'm listening to both Lisa and Tracy and thinking of my own experience. And I've always had the benefit of having a foot in an organization and a foot in entrepreneurship. And one of the things that I think is amazing collaboratively with Women Speakers Association is the innovation. So, for example, we were using Zoom for many years before it became well known with the pandemic. We were using Twitter feeds, we were doing speaker chats long before any of those things became norms. So I think the collaborative benefit of WSA is that if you don't have a foot in an organization, then you can use the platform of WSA to be collaborative and innovative and get access to tools, resources, and things coming down the line in the future.
Yeah, it really does. There's so much more available to you. You can become more aware and more, people can become more aware of you with it.
Exactly.
That's, yeah, beautiful. So taking this a step further, let's hear from you about what this powerful community has meant to you to be a part of, especially with that pillar of collaboration. Lisa?
Well, I mentioned that just the whole concept of collaboration over competition, had me at hello, because Tracy touched on this. A lot of times in the business arena, it was very male oriented. And so we had to often embody more of a masculine energy than settling into our feminine energy and creating the community that we're really designed to create as women. And that's what WSA is all about. So I have made long-term friendships, business collaborations. I have actually, spoken on large stages like the California Women's Conference stage, things like that. So the collaboration is exponential. And I always tell people that marketing is actually all about relationships. And if you want to build relationships, become a member and start doing just that, because you can't expect to do it. You're not an island. You have to do it with friends, with colleagues, with people who are going to help you and lift you up. And what I found to be super helpful is there are a lot of tools, and Desi mentioned some of these, but a speaker's profile, things like that help to amplify your message and get it out across the globe. So we're not talking, just in your own backyard. Let's expand that. Let's get seen and heard everywhere.
Yes, I love that. Marketing through collaboration. It's been one of my mottos for many, many years too. And, Women Speakers Association had me at hello too because of that. So Tracy, what has the collaborative model meant for you within Women Speakers Association?
Well, it's actually been twofold. I've spoken in over 37 countries around the world, and the majority of that was with a male-dominated group, right? And when WSA emerged, I was so, it was my mirage and in my oasis in a very dry desert. So I joined and I got connected, and it was such a breath of fresh air. Lisa mentioned it. I got to be more feminine. I remember, being on those stages, and I was in a suit, so I was like a man, in the beginning. When I look back, I just laugh. But the Women's Speaker Association really allowed me to free the woman that I am and speak from authenticity and things of that nature. I love that it's supportive. It's not a competitive community. I came from a dog-eat-dog platform world that, if you didn't sell and perform, you were gone. And it's not like this. We're constantly, referring each other and connecting, and including yourself, Laura, who's always reaching out to the members and saying, hey, there's an opportunity here for you. And I love that also the women that are a part of this are really successful, not just as speakers, but as business women and entrepreneurs. And so they're constantly creating this environment of growth and community that we're all able to, leverage from. And it's just very nice to be able to sit amongst a number of women and just breathe and really say what's going on. And then, allowing us to really go to that next level.
Yeah. And highlighting that, what I'm taking is that this is a really special organization, even a women's organization in the way we're run. And with that collaboration, because you can enjoy yourself. Because like Lisa, you said, the collaboration, that is the premise, the outreach that happens. And Dr. Desi, tell us about what it's meant to you.
Yeah, I would say, when Lisa and Tracy go first, you always say yes, yes, yes to everything you hear. So then I try to think about, well, what else? What might I add to it? And I think what I would add to it is the global diversity. We're not just speaking to people that are in the United States, but we're spread out across 100 countries. And every time I get on a call or do some type of connection session, I find I'm collaborating with people of different backgrounds, different parts of the world, different industries, and it really expands my thinking. And I think that's one of the major components that really adds a tremendous amount of value. In addition to what we've spoken about, the masculine feminine thing, big deal. I mean, when I started the workforce, it was a man's world, and that's how we behaved. And like even my earrings today are bright colors, are things that I think I get from the expression of being all of myself with the Women Speakers Association, but meet people who bring all of themselves to role model it for me.
And we want to celebrate that, and we want to walk through your hard times with you and be there to lift you up. And I'm sure each of you have had that experience within the Women Speakers Association. It's not just a place where you have to put on a happy face, right?
Actually, if I could jump in on this next one, that was one of the things that I wanted to make sure I shared is I think the big factor for me has been total acceptance. So at certain stages of my careers, when everything turned upside down, including going through a very difficult divorce, my fellow entrepreneurs were the people who understood best what it was I was contending with. And it wasn't the organizational life, it was the entrepreneurial life where I had women who got it. They got what was going on for me. They got what I needed. And it was thanks to the Women Speakers Association that I felt emotionally supported during a difficult time.
Yeah. Anybody else here can relate to that? Yeah, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in real quick and say that, as a part of one of the co-authors of The Silver Lining of Cancer, and that was all women that are members of WSA that contributed it, I went through that whole process with my sister WSA members. I was a part of the leadership team, and I had to step back because, I don't know, facing mortality is, it's life-changing. It takes a lot out of you. And so, everyone was really there for me. I get a little emotional about it, but it was really beautiful. And then it was Tracy Eamon who pushed me and said, Lise, you've got to be in this book. This book is going to help other women, go through this really challenging time. And that was all thanks to the WSA imprint for publishing us. And you can get the book in the WSA bookstore, which is another perk of being a member. So there's just so much about the community that's, again, I get emotional about it because we are deeply connected and you don't have to do it alone. And when you face big things, whether it's a career upheaval or, facing mortality, you can have a community that will support you.
Yeah. And so we're really blowing the lid right off of, how organizations are run, how members connect, how you can really be authentic and share and be supported and actually lifted up. So what advice do you have for women, who want to take part in this collaborative paradigm, as well as they want to grow their impact? So Lisa, you want to jump in?
Absolutely. Your message matters. That's what I have to say to every woman out there. And that's one of the things that I love most about WSA, because again, not only does it level the playing field, but it opens up a global platform for women to be seen and heard as they have never been seen and heard before. So, I help people articulate their marketing message, and often people will say, well, oh my gosh, I can't write. Well, if you can speak, you can write. So we've got you here. We've got the publishing arm. We've got the speaking arm. Come and play, get your voice out there.
Yeah, it's a place to grow for sure. So Tracy, what advice do you have for women who want to make a greater impact in a collaborative model?
Again, I learned this, through 35 years as being an entrepreneur. And it's the constant need, especially for women, to step up and play your biggest game, way outside of your comfort zone, especially important now, so that you can really make that impact that you were born to make, get your message to the world. Because I do follow that, mantra that women are the ones that are going to really help to cope us through the global paradigm paradigm shift that we're experiencing now are really going to help to make that change to not just be productive, but be empathetic and compassionate, as far as what we really need in this planet, right? We're in 100 countries, and we need to keep that constantly in mind and know that we are here as a collective, right? When we each add our individual skills and bring them together and then add 100 countries on top of that, we're building a force and a movement here that's really going to allow everybody, especially the women, feel safe, vocalizing, feel protected, and not feel vulnerable and not feel, that their voice does not matter. And I think that's really one of the important elements. And when you have that safety factor, it allows you to step out of your comfort zone and play big the way we need to.
Play big. And I love that, because what we've been talking about is this collaboration is about making it safe to do that. So awesome piece of advice there. And Dr. Desi, what advice would you give to women who want to make a bigger impact in this collaborative way?
The Women's Speakers Association has a passive way of being a part of it, where you can sign up and maybe, observe classes or even participate in the collaborative book, but you do it kind of behind the scenes. And then there's the active showing up part. And when I hear Tracy talking about playing big, and I hear Lisa talking about having that impact, I really think, you know what? It happens only when we show up. And show up for yourself. And when you show up for yourself, you'll be showing up for other people. And the collaboration happens just naturally, organically, and soulfully. So show up.
It seems almost too good to be true, but it's so essential, because you'll be guided along the path. And so that brings me to my last question is, what is really possible for women by being a part of this Women's Speakers Association community? Set the vision for them, if you would, Lisa.
Well, I mean, we've all touched on various pieces, but really and truly, when you want to be seen and heard, this is the place to do that. Because not only will you improve your speaking skills, Desi mentioned there's all kinds of training to help you do that. You have the opportunity to write your story into existence in collaboration books and beyond. It's completely up to you. And the biggest piece, though, is, and we keep saying it, but it is that collaborative piece. So everything is possible when you have a sisterhood behind you to lift you up and to say, hey, I have this opportunity for you, Tracy, let's talk. Or Desi, have you thought about this? Let's get you on this stage. And it's those connections and it's that relationship. But if you don't show up, like Desi mentioned, if you don't show up, and also if you don't play big, like Tracy mentioned, what's going to happen? Nothing. And guess what? You were not put on this planet to do nothing. You were put on this planet to share your voice, to share your magic, and to be a part of a community. So come and join us.
Yeah. And that makes me think of something here as I looked at Margie's question here on Facebook. And thank you, Margie. What are the hurdles to joining? What are the prerequisites? Being a woman. That's about it. So if you're a woman, you can join. You go to joinwsa.com to do that. And Tracy, tell us what's possible, what vision you see for women and to join our community.
What I love here is almost anything's possible, right? And yet with that, we have the practical applications and steps, the trainings and the community and the support and the Facebook and the TV and the publishing. All of that makes it possible for us to grow our skills, make key connections, and really be among the powerful leaders that are among the women and leaders of this planet. So that each of you can reach your next level. It's how all of us, lift as we climb, as you've heard. It is a a shift, I believe, that women have made, especially in the last decade. It was one that was necessary for us to assume the roles that we were meant to play. Men have done this very, for decades and decades, if not hundreds of years, helped each other, whereas women somehow fell into that competitive role. And when the collaboration shift started to occur, and of course it's been cemented now within the Women's Speakers Association, this is the catalyst to the kind of this next generation, this next coping through the global paradigm shift that we have seen, especially hit the speaking industry, so that we can all really expand in the way that we are meant to.
I love that collaboration as a catalyst for whatever you want, whatever is possible. And, also to further answer that question that Margie was saying, yes, you have to be a woman. And because we believe every woman has a message, and we don't want anybody to not have that opportunity to have it acknowledged, to have it published in a book, to be supported in it, and know that you're not, wacko, right? You have a valid, reason for being. And that is, it could just be to make somebody else's day today. So Dr. Desi, wrap us up. Share with us what's possible when people join our community with this collaborative model.
What's possible when you join our community in the aspect of the collaborative model, in the aspect of connecting, in the aspect of bringing together the powerful voices and the powerful messages? What's possible is you're possible. And what you look like today is going to be different from tomorrow, and that's going to be different from 10 years from now. And every version of you is possible. There's a place here for you. And I think when you get to bring you, and you get to bring value and collaborate and connect with others, it means that much more. So as you expanded, to use Lisa's word, it's you as a catalyst, to use Tracy's word, it's you exponentially amazing, beautiful you. You get to live your best life.
And what I love about that, Desi, is that when you live your best life, you help others live their best lives. And I want to acknowledge each of you for living your best life, for expanding into into bringing yourself to the table here at Women's Speakers Association. I'd like to invite you who are listening here today and watching to join our table, to collaborate with us, to bring your wisdom, to finally know that there's a place you can come and reside in and thrive in, to use another word of Lisa's here today. So thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Dr. Desi. Please visit joinwsa.com. We even have a gift for you. We have a speaker success plan for you that you'll get. And we look forward to seeing you on some of our virtual events. Bye for now.
Bye.